So I have the perfect example to share with you about how we disconnect from our intuition as we get older and how the programming of society, the adults around us, the experiences that we have are part of us disconnecting from our own intuition. So, this last weekend, I was at a wedding and it was a family member of mine. And one of my, of course, a lot of, not the whole family, a lot of the family was there. But I had an uncle that was there. And I've never been close to this uncle. And I've always had kind of a weird feeling around him. But it's like one of those things that is just the weird, creepy uncle. But I never really was putting my finger on what I was actually picking up until this happened. So at this wedding, there was the groom's family, who was not in my direct family, showed up, and this couple came, and a little girl, probably, I'm guessing less than 2 years old, saw me and ran up to me just randomly, and she had a little stuffed animal with her, and she kept showing me her stuffed animal, and I thought it was so cute. She was such a cute little African American girl, and she's just smiling and pointing at me. She just keeps smiling and pointing at me, and I start to think, I wonder what she sees when she looks at me, because she's just so drawn to me. That's so interesting. So she walks around, and then she comes right back to me, and then she hands me her baby doll. And I'm like, wow, thank you for trusting me to hold your baby doll. And so she just stares at me. She's looking at me and staring at me. She can't talk, but she just keeps pointing at me and like smiling and like there's just an interesting experience. It was just very interesting. So I don't know what she was seeing. I don't know if she was seeing like light. I don't know if she was seeing my energy. I don't know what was going on in that moment, but it was really special to me. Well, then my uncle shows up, or he's like kind of standing to the side, and he comes over and he pulls out some quarters, and he bends down and he's like, "Hey, little girl, do you want some quarters for your piggy bank?" And immediately she just retreats and starts going, "No!" Like, she starts crying, and she gets fear on her face, and she backs up, and I was like, isn't this interesting how the reaction between me and the reaction between my uncle are complete opposite for this little tiny girl. See my squirrel friends? I've been feeding them, so they like to show up. This is a baby. Anyways, squirrel, literally. But this has had me thinking ever since this happened about how when we're little, we have a very deep connection with our intuition. We can tell when we're safe. We can tell what's right or wrong or negative. Like, we pick up on energy so easily. But what's interesting in that moment is that little girl's mom said, "Oh, be nice. He's just trying to be nice." Well, what if that little girl is picking up on something about this man could hurt her? And so she's retreating from it, and she's expecting the adults around her to protect her and to help coach her in making the right choice that feels good for her. But what we do is we teach kids to not trust themselves, because the nice thing to do is to talk to this person or to engage, even though your intuition, your inner knowing is telling you there's something off about this. So think about growing up and how many times you were in situations where you maybe felt, and you may not remember any of these, but you may have felt this like retreating energy, like saying, this is not good, this is not safe. And over time, you just kept saying that to yourself. And then if you grew up and you ended up in a relationship that wasn't good or positive, or you kept looking past red flags, or you end up in friendships or connections that are not positive, your intuition is always guiding you correctly. we just are taught to disconnect from it. And that is how we end up in a lot of situations we're in as adults. So, getting back to what Jesus taught us, coming like a child, coming to situations with our intuition, trusting ourselves, trusting our heart, will help guide us back into alignment so we can make decisions for our highest good and live more peacefully in our life.